President al-Sisi meets Indian Vice President on bilateral ties. At his New Delhi residence, the President received Indian Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar. President al-Sisi said he looks forward that his visit to New Delhi will be an additional step ahead towards developing and promoting distinguished friendship ties binding Egypt and India on various aspects, namely in light of common visions between the countries over decades. The head of state said that both countries also have common visions currently in a time the world is witnessing political and economic challenges, which stress the importance of strengthening economic and trade ties between both countries. For his part, the Indian Vice President hailed distinguished relations binding people of both countries, highlighting his country's keenness on supporting Egypt's efforts to achieve comprehensive development and activating partnership between the two countries. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi participated in the celebrations of India's 74th Republic Day as chief guest. During the Republic Day parade, an Egyptian military contingent marched the Rajpath along with other troops.
As India marks the 74th Republic Day on Thursday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi participated in the celebrations as the chief guest. During the Republic Day parade, an Egyptian military contingent marched the Rajpath along with other contingents. 160 Egyptian military personnel represented Egypt's armed forces, and the Egyptian national anthem was played. India's Republic Day marks the start of the Indian Constitution in 1950. And prior to the start of celebrations, Indian Prime Minister put a wreath of flowers on the eternal soldier's flame. Earlier on Wednesday, President al-Sisi addressed journalists at the Indian Presidential Palace in New Delhi. During his speech, President al-Sisi extended his sincere congratulations to the friendly country of India government and people, and wished India stability, peace, prosperity, and development. The head of state expressed his appreciation for the warm welcome and for the invitation to participate as a guest of honor in the celebration of the Republic Day, in which India and Egypt celebrate the anniversary of the inauguration of diplomatic ties. President al-Sisi also stressed that Egypt and India are keen to achieve common goals in various fields based on the historical ties and the enormous potential enjoyed by the two countries. Also, President al-Sisi held talks with President of India, Draupadi Murmu, in the Presidential Palace in New Delhi. During the meeting, al-Sisi praised the Egyptian-Indian friendly ties and said that Egypt is looking forward to boosting bilateral ties, especially on the economic and trade levels. For her part, the Indian President praised the historical ties that bind the two friendly countries. She also praised the successful developmental experience under the leadership of President al-Sisi, as well as the mega national projects in Egypt. The head of state also participated on Wednesday in a meeting for heads of mega Indian companies and Indian businessmen. During the meeting, the President reviewed the various investment opportunities in the Egyptian market as well as the modern infrastructure in Egypt. For their part, the Indian businessmen said that they are looking forward to boosting bilateral cooperation with Egypt in various fields.
On the occasion of current state visit of President al-Sisi to India, the two sides agreed to issue a joint statement that includes emphasis on expanding bilateral relations. Presidential spokesman Bassem Rodi said such important step reaches the level of strategic partnership that covers the political, security, defense, economic and energy fields. Following the Republic Day parade, President al-Sisi attended an official dinner banquet at the Indian Republic Palace. The banquet was held by Indian President in honor and the head of the state. Addressing the banquet, the President expressed his gratitude to his Indian counterpart for the warm reception and generous hospitality he received during his visit in New Delhi. The President highlighted that Egypt and India are among the oldest and most ancient, authentic civilizations which played a pivotal role in progress of human civilizations in various fields. The head of state reiterated that mutual interests, close cultural ties between Egypt and India make the two countries an important bridge to spread the principles and values of justice, peace, equality, tolerance, and mutual respect among peoples. Al-Sisi added that his visit to India came at a time when bilateral relations are witnessing tangible boom in all aspects of cooperation. The head of state also stressed on the importance of his meeting with the Indian president in light of international challenges the world is witnessing. The president received chairman of India's companies Renew Power, Somante Sen. Presidential spokesman Bassem Radi said the president stressed Egypt's keenness on boosting cooperation with India in the field of renewable energy as the country entertained a wide experience in this regard. For his part, chairman of Renew Power asserted he was proud to meet President Al-Sisi, pointing out that his company is keen to cooperate with Egypt in the field of clean energy. Meanwhile, the president also met with Gautam Adani, head of the Adani Group, which possesses a number of companies working in various fields. Egypt and India are two ancient civilizations who enjoy close common understanding and strategic partnerships in various domains. This year, the two friendly nations celebrate the 75th anniversary of their diplomatic relations.
India and Egypt are two of the world's ancient civilizations with a history of close contact. Numerous historians have recorded the common heritage of the ancient civilizations of these two countries. They both share close political understanding based on long history of contacts and cooperation in bilateral, regional, and global issues. The joint announcement of establishment of diplomatic relations at ambassadorial level was made on the 18th of August 1947. Both countries have cooperated closely in multilateral fora and were the founding members of non-aligned movement. Both sides also decided to establish a strategic and security policy dialogue at the level of foreign ministers. The year 2022 is of particular significance since it marks the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations between India and Egypt. On the economic relationship, Egypt has traditionally been one of India's most important trading partners on the African continent. The bilateral trade agreement has been in operation since March 1978 and is based on the most favored nation clause, and the bilateral trade has increased more than 5 times in the last 10 years. Bilateral trade has expanded rapidly in 2021-22, amounting to $7.26 billion, registering a 75% increase compared to fiscal year 2020-2021. India's exports to Egypt during this period amounted to $3.74 billion, registering a 65% increase over the same period in fiscal year 2020-2021. At the same time, Egypt's exports to India reached $3.52 billion, registering an 86% increase. During this period of 2021-22, the top Indian imports from Egypt were mineral oil, petroleum, fertilizers, inorganic chemicals, and cotton, and main item of export to Egypt from India were meat, iron, steel, light vehicle, and cotton yarn. According to the Egyptian Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, India was the third largest export market for Egypt, sixth largest trading partner, and seventh largest exporter to Egypt.
In an exclusive interview, correspondent of Egyptian TV's news sector, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry stressed that Egyptian political leadership is keen to expand and enhance cooperation between Egypt and India in all fields. Shoukry added that the aim is to capitalize India's advances in order to achieve mutual benefit. The top diplomat hailed an invitation extended to Egypt to participate as a guest of honor at G20 meetings, which India chairs this year. He said the invitation provides an opportunity to Egypt to participate at international economic and development discourse during the current delicate phase. Foreign Ministry condemned a statement that Israeli violations over the Palestinian cities after an Israeli raid against the West Bank's Jenin refugee camp killed 9 Palestinians, including an elderly woman. The ministry called for soon halt for the Israeli aggression, warning on dangerous repercussions of these acts of the Middle East security and stability. The statement added that the latest raids undermine efforts seeking to receive the peace process and called on international parties to take responsibilities to stop violence on the occupied territories and protect civilians. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Authority also condemned violence, calling on the international community to speak out against it. The Palestinian National Authority declared that it would halt the security cooperation that has solidified the authorities' hold over the West Bank following Israel's military raid into the occupied territory and killed 9 Palestinians. Israeli forces killed at least 9 Palestinians, including a 61-year-old woman, and wounded several others.
Israeli forces in a West Bank raid killed 9 Palestinians on Thursday, including a 61-year-old woman, and wounded several others in a large-scale raid. The bloodiest day in the West Bank in years erupted during a raid on the crowded refugee camp in the northern city of Jenin, where gunshots rang through the streets and smoke billowed from burning street barricades. The Palestinian Health Ministry said the death toll from the clashes rose to 9, including a woman, and that 20 people were injured before the Israeli forces withdrew mid-morning. Since its records began in 2005, the United Nations has never recorded such a high death toll in a single operation in the West Bank. Palestinian Health Minister charged that the occupation forces stormed Jenin Government Hospital and intentionally fired tear gas canisters at the pediatric department in the hospital. However, the Israeli military denied its forces had entered the hospital. 3 Palestinians were shot in a firefight, while Israeli forces shot a further 2 fleeing the scene. There were no casualties among Israeli forces. Thousands flocked to funerals in Jenin as the Palestinian presidency announced 3 days of official mourning. Israel has occupied the West Bank since the Six-Day War of 1967.
First Lady Mrs. Intisar al-Sisi visited the Children's Cancer Hospital, Shifa al-Ormon. Following the visit, during which she inspected various departments of the hospital, the First Lady hailed great efforts exerted by the world-class hospital. She said the hospital offers the best care for children, saluting its staff who are tirelessly working to ease the children's pain. The First Lady listened to the detailed explanation concerning various departments of the hospital, which proves it to be the first green hospital in Luxor. She inspected the one-day treatment protocols pavilion and greeted the children under treatment, wishing them full recovery. Under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Ministry of Interior decided to extend the activities of 23rd phase of All One initiative till the end of the holy month of Ramadan nationwide. The initiative has more than 1,000 branches across the country, including key super and hypermarkets nationwide, as well as Interior Ministry's outlet Samar. The commodities are sold out at a discount of 60% of its market price. The initiative aims at providing various food and non-food commodities to citizens at low prices. On Thursday, the 54th Cairo International Book Fair resumes its activities as thousands of visitors are flocking to participate in the cultural event. Prime Minister Mustafa Mabouli inaugurated on Wednesday the 54th round of the Cairo International Book Fair, which sees the participation of 1,047 publishing houses from 53 countries. The Ministry of Culture announced that Jordan is this year's guest of honor. In addition, the late Egyptian poet Salah Jahin is this year's personality, while Egyptian writer Kamel Kilani, who is one of the pioneers of children's literature across the Arab world, is the personality of the year at the children's exhibition. The fair will open to the public starting 26th of January and last until 6th of February at the International Exhibition Center in New Cairo.